Welcome to Street Stories, a podcast of real, raw, and unfiltered stories of homelessness told by Skip Finkfish, founder and pastor of Word on the Street Homeless Ministries. Please be advised these stories are for a mature audience. Our goal is to bring you as close to the reality of homelessness as we can, one story at a time.
First day I met Dale was at the Sunday dinner. And there was a guy, he had a late model red Firebird, pretty nice car. And he came to the meal in the Firebird and parked over on the side and got out of the car and came over and kind of hung around, walking around in the back of the parking lot when I was teaching, and then got something to eat and then took it over to his car, took a plate over to his car to sit in his car to eat. He didn't sit with anybody. That was, the group, a couple hundred people for the Sunday dinner. And afterwards, he hung out in the car and we fed everybody. Everybody was gone. Tore everything down, packed it all back up again, getting ready to leave, and he gets out of the car and he comes walking towards me. And he stops about, 6 to 8 feet away from me in the parking lot. And I was just, hi, can I help you? And he just hands in his pockets and head down, and he's pacing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in front of me, just back and forth. Not looking at me, looking at the ground and just pacing back and forth. And then he stops right in front of me and still with his head down, looking at the ground. He says to me, "I'm an addict. Don't believe anything I tell you because I'm going to lie. I'm going to say anything that I can say and anything that I need to say to get out of you what I need. I will steal from you. I'm an addict. Don't trust me. Don't give me any money. If you give me money, I'm going to use it." And I told him I don't give anybody money, but I'll give you anything else. I'll give you my shoes, whatever you need. I'm just not going to give you any money. He said, "Well, I'm an addict." He kept saying, "I'm an addict," and then he would say, because he is, "Don't do this, don't do that." And he told me, he said, I will lie to you. I will take advantage of you. I will steal from you. This is the first time I've ever met the man. First time I've ever heard him talk. And so it was an interesting experience. So anyway, after he walked back and forth and said his piece, he went over and he got in the car and drove off. He started coming weekly. And as he started coming, then I started, we started breaking the ice a little bit, and I'd have conversation with him, whatever. Come to find out that Dale was a master carpenter. He was a cabinet builder. He was a furniture builder. He was a master carpenter. And that was where he made his money. But drugs had taken over his life, like it does. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your education level is. I don't care what your finances are. I don't care how much money you have in the bank. If you get into the position that so many people do, it will eat your lunch. It will steal everything from you. And so the car was the last thing that Dale had. And he lived in it because he lost everything else, including his wife, including his brother who was in construction. And so he was completely alone and living in his car and with that skill set. So he was doing odd jobs and not doing very well. Well, long story short, sleeping in the car and in the wrong place, and it got towed and impounded, and he didn't have the money to get it out of the impound. So he came to me and asked me if I could pay the $150 I think it was $300 to get his car out of the impound. And I said, one of the very first things that you ever said to me was, "Don't give me any money." And I said to you, "I don't give money." And he said, okay. Because, I told him, you said, I lie. I'll say anything to get money out of you. And $300 is a lot of money. And that could be, 5 or 6 tenths for other people. That there's all kinds of things that could happen with that 300. And if I give it to you and none of this is true, and plus I do not want to ever be responsible for promoting your habit in any way, shape, or form. I give you $300 and you overdose. We just can't go there. So over time, Dale and I actually got pretty close, close to the point where I brought him into my home. He remodeled some kitchen cabinets, and he built some cabinetry for me in my home. This would have been about 12 years ago or so. And we became pretty good friends. And he really began to curb the drug problem, but he started replacing it with alcohol. And so, your natural ice, typically Steel Reserve, something that has the highest percentage of alcohol in the can and is cheap. So he would buy, at the end of a day, he would work different construction jobs or day labor or whatever, but then his goal was to get a case of 24 on the way home, and that's what he lived on. His skills never decreased. He was an amazing carpenter. He got a job at the Florida Mall, and they were remodeling at the Florida Mall, and he got a job there in carpentry. And in the back of the mall, there was like the construction area where they kept all the materials and, all the supplies for the construction stuff that was going on, the remodeling that was going on in the mall. And Dale got to work a little early, so he got to work, I believe it was around 9 o'clock. When they didn't have to, I don't think they began working till 10 or maybe even 11, and then worked overnight. The next morning, Dale's body was found in the construction area. Sometime during the night or the next morning, or I don't know when or how, but he was shot directly in the chest, three rounds, and stabbed. I don't remember. I think it was 7 or 8 times, and he died in the construction area at the Florida Mall. In his camps, he had absolutely the most amazing camps of any camps that I've ever been in. He would take tarps and cut limbs out of trees and build. He would build structures out of limbs and tarps. He had a bathhouse with a gravity-fed shower in it, and he had these 5 55-gallon drums lined up, and a bamboo pole in the middle, and then a palm frond, the bottom of the palm frond where it opens up, you cut the leafy stuff off, and then you've got this like tray kind of, scoop kind of thing. And he screwed that or nailed that to the top of the post, and then he had a tarp with a hole in it over top of that, and it spread between the trees. So every time it rained, it would catch the water and it would come down through the hole. And he had blankets over the drums, and then the rain would come down through the hole onto that frond and down the frond and into the blanket on the top of the barrel. And when the barrel got full, he just turned that and then filled up the next one. The barrel got full, he turned that, fill up the next one. Incredibly creative guy, and he loved horseshoes. He had some horseshoes, and I would go in there and we'd talk And I'd play horseshoes with him for an hour at his camp in the woods. I said all that to say that here you have a skilled man, very skilled, who was very capable. He was friendly. He was intelligent. And then he met drugs and lost everything. I say that not to shame you. I say that to encourage you. There's no way out. There's no way out. I don't know if it was a drug deal gone bad. That's where my brain would go. That cost him his life, because I've seen that a number of times over the years where the drug deals went bad and it cost the person their life. So I miss him. I still have some of his cabinetry that was built in that particular house. I took it, and I still, I took it out of the house, and I still have it, and I still use it. And I don't know, that's Dale, and I know a lot of Dales. You see a lot of these guys, and I'll finish with this. When you see a lot of these people, you would not believe the skill set that some of these people have. A tremendous skill set, especially working with their hands. Guys in construction, and guys in cabinetry, and guys in carpentry, and guys in... I'll tell you the story about another guy, but he in another podcast. But his name's Brian, and he used to be even just 3 or 4 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, he was being flown around the country to pour concrete out of these big hydraulic. The skill set's unbelievable. Air Force bases and airports and highway construction and all of that. And some wrong decisions have cost him. But I'll tell you about Brian later. I just want you to understand, these are people. They are humans. They're smarter than you think they are. And they're stronger than you think they are. If you think that you can survive in the life that they're surviving in on the street, and they're weak or stupid, they're neither. They're resilient, they're strong, they're smart, and you would do well to have a few relationships with some of those people. They'll bring value into your life. So, rest in peace, Dale. I miss you.
Thank you for watching this episode of Street Stories, brought to you by Word on the Street Homeless Ministries. Please follow us on Facebook at Watts for Homeless, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Watts for Homeless. If you would like to learn more information about our ministry here in Orlando, Florida, you can visit us at wattsforhomeless.com. And if you would like to be a monthly donor or give a one-time donation, you can visit wattsforhomeless.com/give. Thank you.